I signed up to learn fencing. There was no opportunity that ever came by. It was a women-only group and I was quite interested.
I had no idea because I'd never done fencing, never really seen any fencing. So I thought, I'm going to give it a go.
Muslim Girls Fence is a collaboration between the charity Maslaha and fencing organisation British Fencing. The project facilitates spaces at a grassroots level for Muslim girls and women to physically and creatively challenge assumptions relating to their gender, racial, religious and other identities. Women on the programme are coached to learn fencing, a traditionally elite and white male-dominated sport. Through this, they therefore physically confront stereotypes about fencers, but also expectations about Muslim women, that they are weak, subordinated and lacking agency. Alongside fencing, women engage in a range of discussions and creative activities to reflect on their identities, the ways they are represented, and the limited narratives about their experiences that are usually given a mainstream platform in society. For 10 weeks between September and December 2019, at the Ideas Store in Whitechapel, a group of Muslim Girls Fence women came together to fence and to imagine and creatively build a utopian Tower Hamlets, what Tower Hamlets would look like if it met their needs.
My sort of just desire is to learn fencing, and also then I got sort of hooked in with the designing of the model. I absolutely loved it. I've always had ideas in my head, like I'm sure everybody else, but I've never had the opportunity to sort of get them out of my head and think them out loud.
I was surprised how much we came up with, because at first I thought, what exactly would we do? Like, say, I thought it'd just be a list of things, but it was actually so much more we could come up with. And then building the models of that was really interesting as well.
So I think it's always important to think about the different ways in which Muslim women are continuously spoken about and over, and what does it mean then for you to demand space or to begin to imagine the city as if you had a right to be in here?
I'm a mom, I want to go back out there to get a job. What do I do? So, it's a bit scary, isn't it? So you want to go to a place where they can just put you in a place and they can train you, and confidence. And once you get that, then you can start applying in the real world.
Over the last 2 months, we worked with the women to plan and draw, design and build the borough that they wanted to live in. And the prompt was for them to imagine what Tower Hamlets could look like on their own terms. And it opened up loads of opportunities for conversations that they said they really rarely have. And not being able to have these conversations leads to people often assuming what the causes of many social problems are, but the reality is that it's often a lot more complex than what we can imagine, and it requires us to have these messy, open conversations.
Because we also have our little discussions, and I see everyone's opinion, and us just having a healthy talk with each other.
Everyone's been amazing. I've learned so much from listening and observing, and I think just being aware that there's a group that I've been a part of has helped me move on to imagine and to conceptualise that I can do other things as well. So that's been really brilliant.
It's more about imagining community spaces in a way where you are unapologetically centered, right? You're constantly having to react to how other people are reacting to you, right? So you don't actually get the space to deal with your own emotional responses in your own way. And so that's why imagining is such an important, because what does it mean to center yourself and really imagine what you would want to see in the world?
In a borough like Tower Hamlets, the problems that residents face are often assumed. Muslim women are constantly highlighted in media depictions of the area, which is narrated as segregated, deprived and lacking. However, through their discussions and imaginings, women on the Muslim Girls Fence project at the Ideas Store pushed back at these narratives, exposing that the problems they face are not of their own making, but stem from austerity, gentrification of their area, racism in the media, and from politicians. Their imaginings of Tower Hamlets try to overcome these issues.
for example, have so much funding cut from the government. Like, we're not supported in so many ways, whether it's education or benefits or just help for career-wise. So this is a place where everyone can get the help. Whenever there does have funding cut, it always affects the minorities first.
I think it's dangerous, obviously, to buy into the myth that, oh, okay, well, as soon as you just empower Muslim women, poof, path, everything else goes away. Because even within those structures, they're not seeing you for who you need to be, for all that you could be, because all that you are is a problem that needs to be integrated, you know?
There's a lot of duplication, I think, of ideas and thoughts, and if people were brought together, and I'm talking about Christian, Muslim, any denomination brought together in terms of supporting their vulnerable, they're poor, they're young, they're old, it would work better. It kind of gives direct accountability and access to people, and that's what I wanted to build in my vision of Tower Hamlets.
I think there's a stigma attached to mental health, which is really strong. And I think if places like this can exist and the wider community can engage with the mental health services, mentally ill people, there would be that understanding.
Often people you just need to hear from someone else that, like, it's not just in your head, that there are a lot of things that are happening in your surroundings that you should be reacting to, and you should be grieving, you should be angry, and you should be scared, you know what I mean? Like, all of these things do exist in this moment. So how do we then actually, like, provide spaces where we actually start to think about, like, caring for one another in a way that, you know, in all of the different ways in which, like, people are processing their emotions.
To improve my self-esteem, raise my self-esteem. I was feeling quite low before I came here. This is something that I regularly pushed myself and came every week on time, and and so I've really pushed myself for this, and I really enjoy it, and I think it's a feel-good factor as well. And mentally, it's like I wasn't feeling all there, and it's made me feel like more mentally strong as well.
I'm doing my own thing. I can go home and tell my kids, oh, I've done something. And they feel like, oh, that's interesting. So they feel good that mum is doing her own thing. I'm not attached to them.
It'll be sad not to come on a Saturday. Everyone's been amazing. I've learnt so much.
I think it's all of it. Everything put together, the fencing, the creativity, everything put together. It's just a really nice place to be for a Saturday daytime, few hours, just doing things which are different, doing things which you've never imagined yourself doing, and, you know, succeeding in it as well.
To imagine yourself to freedom, that does include building spaces for us to, like, play and, like, create in different ways, but it also requires something much deeper than that. You can't continue to expect acceptance within structures that are fundamentally violent. So what does it mean to, like, then begin from a very different starting point once you start imagining yourself into existence? That is hard work. Yeah, it has to take time.
She's sabotaging.